Now in this video, we're going to talk about some of the obstacles, the things that get in the way of people making successful career transitions. Many people who want to change careers just get stuck along the way, and there's many reasons why they get stuck. So the first thing I want to do is look at these obstacles and then talk about how to overcome those. Now, the number one thing that happens to people when they're trying to make a career change is they focus on what they actually lack. They feel stuck because they feel like they don't know how to make a career change. They're afraid that if they make a career change, that they won't have the skills necessary to be able to do the job. But what they're actually doing is focusing on what they don't have, and this is completely backwards. No one hires you based on what you don't know or you don't have. The things that matter are what you do know, what you've already accomplished, and what you're interested in learning. So what we need to get you to do to overcome this obstacle is to focus on the skills that you do have. And if you are missing some of those, we can also talk about how you can attain those skills. So you need to flip your focus and not focus on what you don't have, but what you do have. And when you do this, you're going to feel a lot more empowered in your career journey, and you'll be much more apt to get things done rather than just to give up and stay where you are. The second biggest obstacle I hear from my clients who are interested in making a transition is they tell me that they just don't know what they want to do. And I'm certain that sounds familiar to each of you from some point in your past. But a lot of times it's not really that you don't know what you want, it's that you don't really know what that looks like in a job position. So for example, you might know you want to use skill A, B, and C, and you want to be able to do that from home, but you just don't know what job position you could do to utilize those skills that you enjoy doing the most. And along with this, there are people who truly don't know what they want to do. And that's why all of you should make sure that you have gone through the modules about career clarity before taking on a career transition. It's really, really necessary. And the third most common objection is simply fear. People have fear. They're afraid to lose what they have. They're afraid to lose money, afraid to lose their standing if they let a job go, even if they're unhappy. They're afraid to lose their reputation, and they fear the potential of failure on the career change itself. But the truth is, we just have to overcome that fear and realize that if we don't take a chance, that we are just going to be stuck in the same position that we're unhappy with currently. Once you realize that it's impossible to plan your entire career change just in your head, then you'll finally give yourself permission to start doing things and allowing yourself to take one step at a time. So ask yourself, what's the next thing that you need to do in order to move forward? And just focus on that, baby steps. And then trust that as you take one step, you'll be able to see the next. And then as that step is successful, the goal will be the following step, and so forth, until you can reach your destination. But remember, you don't have to quit your full-time job today to start looking for the next opportunity. And going right along in the same direction, obstacle number 4 is money worries. Now, we all know that if you're making a career transition into an entirely different career, that sometimes you have to give up some of your seniority and start more at the bottom to get your foot in the door, and then you can move up the ladder. So there's always a concern that you will have to take less money when you make a career transition. But here's the deal, though. You can't afford more of the same exact thing that you're doing right now, because not only is it not working financially, it's not working emotionally. You are not enjoying the job and it is causing you stress. If you're unhappy or even miserable in the job, sometimes money just isn't worth it. You have to take a look at the toll it may be taking on you emotionally, in your home life, etc. You may find yourself in a job where you aren't able to spend enough time with your family, etc. And that is worth something. So it's not all about money. And by feeling anxious or worried about your finances, that's not going to help you. In fact, it's going to make the situation harder for you to make good decisions. So while we all need to make enough income to live and to provide for, either ourselves, our family, etc., you still have to consider other factors when you are considering a job. Do not let a lack of money or a potential lack of money stop you from making the best decision for you. Instead, use it as a powerful motivator to push your career forward. You can't afford not to. Number 5 is analysis paralysis. Now, we have all suffered from this condition at one time or another in our lives. This is where we just get stuck and we just absolutely can't make a decision. So then we start to fear that maybe things won't go right or bad things are going to happen, and this just causes us to freeze and do nothing. We have to learn that it's okay to just make a decision. And by not making a decision, this is really a big part of the problem. And as I said, it happens to everyone from time to time. But you don't want to allow yourself to settle. If you talk yourself into what you're doing right now is fine, you're just convincing yourself that you don't have to do anything about it. For example, I hate my job and it makes it really hard to get up each day, but it's fine. See what you're doing? You're just justifying what's happening now so you don't have to make a change. It is not fine. Now, you're never going to actually feel like making a change or doing something new. No one does. And the simple reason for that is it takes effort. But the way to overcome this obstacle is to get your mindset right and get a solid plan in place to follow. Now, these are the 5 main obstacles that you're going to come across when thinking about a career change. There are others, like the fear of calling it quits and actually leaving, a job that you have. You haven't had time to update your resume. You don't have the right skills for the job that you think you want. Maybe things will get better at this job. Let me stick it out for a while longer. I'll probably experience the same type of work issues at a new company that I'm experiencing here, so why bother? Those are some other obstacles, but they really fall back under these same categories. And the way that you overcome all of this is you've got to get your mindset right and realize that there is a dream job out there for you and that you don't have to settle. And the sooner you get started, the sooner you're going to get what you want.